Hi, I called from the club. I talked to Alan. He did tell you. You don't mind.
How are things going at the club?
Well, I miss a lot of things.
All of them named Lesley.
Most of them, yes.
Well, at least you have Howard Lansing around.
Howard is not a very adequate substitute.
Sorry, I don't suppose he is, no.
Well, he did save my sanity this morning by having breakfast with me. I didn't come to talk about Howard or the club.
No, I know. You came to talk about the OR schedule and save me a trip into town. That's according to Alan.
That was the excuse, you know, the real reason.
Please.
I needed to talk to you someplace a little more privately than I could do at the hospital.
I see.
But my call didn't upset Alan anyway, did it?
Well, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Good. He doesn't seem to be acting himself lately.
Alan isn't himself.
Monica, I've been worried about you since you called me the other night.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to upset you, Rick. Look, you straightened me out. I'm grateful for that.
I straightened you out?
Sure. I mean, you reminded me that if Alan thought anything about you and I spending a night together, then I certainly would have seen it in the violence of his anger.
You all right now?
Well, my nerves aren't the steadiest these days. I think it's the waiting. The waiting for somebody to make his or her move and go ahead with his blackmail. That's assuming that my deposition is going to be used as a blackmail attempt. But I really think I'm right about Tracy.
What do you mean?
I don't think she stole that deposition from Lee's office. I don't think she had anything to do with even arranging the theft.
I would tend to agree with that.
I was convinced the day she was over here and told me that the deposition would be up for sale and she would buy it when my son was born.
Tracy could have been lying.
Oh, Rick, I'd love to believe that. But I saw the look in her eyes. I'm convinced she was telling the truth.
Monica, your son is born. Where is Tracy with the deposition?
Maybe a better question is, where is the deposition? Who could have it, Rick?
Is there any chance that Alan could have gotten his hands on that deposition?
Something like that?
I'm sorry.
I mean, what are you trying to do to me?
Monica, please, just listen to me.
What makes you think that Alan could have the deposition?
I didn't say he does. I didn't say he ever did. I'm saying that there is a possibility that he might have, and I think we have to consider that possibility very objectively. Now, whoever has the deposition would know that Alan would be very interested in getting hold of it. Right?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
All right. Now, whoever reads it would also know that Alan would pay a great deal of money to get his hands on it.
Well, it hasn't happened.
How can you be so sure?
Because if Alan had it and he had read it, then I'd know about it.
The other night on the telephone, you told me you were worried that Alan knew about us because of the way he was behaving.
Rick, I was talking out of guilt.
Look, please, be honest with me. Are you sure?
How can I be anything but honest, Rick? Look, I know better than anybody Alan's temper. I mean, the night I fell down the stairs, he accused me of sleeping with you. He was a madman. He broke everything in sight. I mean, don't you understand what I'm saying? If he suspected for one moment that you and I had slept together, then he'd kill. I mean, me, you, God forgive me, even the baby, Rick. I mean, Alan couldn't pretend about something like that. He would lose control. I mean, Rick, I have to believe that. If I don't, I mean, well, that's insanity.
Dr. Quartermain.
I'm sorry, I was so absorbed with my son. That's why I thought I'd stop in here when you weren't in your office. You obviously have the report on the neurological workup. Yes. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. There's no chance of you getting back to surgery.
The nerves haven't regenerated properly then.
Well, the nerves are still damaged. Sensitivity hasn't returned to normal. I'm afraid you'll never get back to surgery, Doctor. Sorry.
Mrs. Fields believes 1 cup of tea will fix everything.
Well, in this case, let's pretend that she's right. Okay. Come on.
Rick, I am tired of pretending. I'm tired of pretending that everything is going to be all right. That I'll never get that call, that I'll never have to open that door to somebody who's going to be there and who's going to try to harm me or my baby.
Easy, I'll take you. Come on, please. Just try to calm down.
I'm walking the tightrope, Rick. Don't let me fall.
I won't. Monica, we have to talk about each other.
Why?
We have to be very careful of being seen together and just being around each other.
Yeah, I know.
I want to try every way I can to get back with Lesley.
And it's very easy for Alan to misunderstand.
We have to talk about our professional life as well.
Sure.
Are you prepared to be together in the hospital every day, side by side, in the operating room? Can you handle that day after day?
Of course I can.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Hey, come on, Rick. Now, look, you've got to stop worrying about me. I mean, you have enough on your mind with being separated from Lesley, and I feel responsible for that.
Monica.
No, wait a minute, please. Let me tell you how very sorry I am that one night we spent together has caused so much misery and unhappiness for all of us.
That night was never cheap or shabby. We talked about spending the rest of our lives together. You remember that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that.
Well, I do too. Now, if you ever need me for anything, call me. You've already promised me to do it.
Yeah. Of course I will, but I hope I never have to do that, Rick. I mean, I'm really thinking that Alan and I will be able to get things back together again now that I've given him his son.
Son has made him very happy, hasn't it?
Oh, happier than I've ever seen.
When a man has a baby with a woman, it creates a bond. It can never be broken.
I suppose it does.
I don't want to hurt Alan any more than he's already been hurt.
Nor do I, Ray. But how long do we go on paying for that night?
You know how I feel about that.
And I feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my life paying for it.
There's so many things that we have to talk about.
Don't, Rick.
So many
Don't.
things that we have to say.
Please don't.
They have to be brought out one time.
Okay, but not now, please. If you care about me at all, please don't say anything. I mean, anybody to take a look at the plans Alan makes for his son, building a new nursery and everything. I mean, he would know how happy Alan is. It's just, for heaven's sakes, it is my conscience that is just making me think the thoughts that Alan knows about that night. That's all. I mean, he doesn't know, Rick. He can't know. So what we have to do is put it out of our minds. And, well, you have to go back to the hospital and go to work. I have to go to the hospital and see my son and my husband. So, let's go.
I just got the message that you wanted to talk to me.
Do you have some time? I'd really like to talk to you.
Sure. Why don't we go over in the lounge?
I just, had the report on the neurological workup.
Oh. Oh, Ellen, let's sit down and talk about it.
This conversation, I wanted to stay right here. I don't want anybody else to know, okay?
Whatever you say.
I had no idea it would hit me so hard. I just got the report and the nerves in my hand. They have not regenerated well enough for me to go back into surgery.
Sorry.
I never really knew just how important going back into surgery was until I knew definitely that I can't do it anymore. I don't want anybody else to know, okay?
Of course not.
I'm going to have to tell Steve, but nobody else right now, all right?
No one else will know.
You're the one person, really, that I did want to talk to. About the job in the clinic, Lesley. Can you still use me?
The job is yours.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Hello, Dad.
People would wait until after the checkup to ask me that.
Oh, Mitch, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
You mean you haven't even seen him yet?
No, I was with Steve. He said Rick hadn't come in yet.
Well, hold on to your hats, because here he comes now with Monica.
Ellen, your wife is dying to get a glimpse of your baby.
Yes, I talked Ricky into driving me here.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't very well leave her at the house. All right, thank you, Rick. Well, Monica, shall we go and see our son?
Sure. We'll miss you in Albany tomorrow, Alan.
I miss you, too. Listen, congratulations a day early. Thank you, Ellen.
Yes, Mitch, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Edward, why don't you go on up and get into a gown, and I'll be right there.
Anything you say, Doctor.
Rick, do take good care of my father.
I will, Tracy, I will. Wasn't much fun, was it?
No.
Do you have a minute?
No, not really. I have to get to work.
When are we going to get together and talk things out?
I don't know.
Leslie, I was a little surprised to find that you went to Howard about a divorce.
I'm sorry about that.
At least you could have told me. Now, when are we going to be able to sit down and talk things out? Please.
I think we've talked enough for the present. It might help if you could bear to stay away from Monica right now.
Leslie, your hands are shaking. I don't like to see that. It makes me worried about you.
Don't. It's just nerves. That's all it is.
Don't say it's just nerves. Nerves can do a lot of heavy things to someone.
Well, if they want to do heavy things to me, they're going to have to get in line.
I can't keep saying I'm sorry. You want me to wear a sign that says it? I'm sorry.
Did I tell you that Alan asked to come and work in the clinic with me?
What did you say?
I didn't know how I could say anything else. I said yes, but it's going to be a little difficult having a permanent reminder right there in the office of the whole situation.
I'm afraid our life is going to be full of reminders, but it's just going to seem that way to us. That won't be directed at us.
I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to live with the fact that Monica's child is yours. I don't know how you can live with it.
Because I can do it for only one reason. She was very strong with me. She tried to deny it. She said that she only wanted it to be my child. I think if she felt that we could pretend the situation wasn't there, we could live with it.
That's foolish.
There is another alternative. I could resign as chief of cardiology. That way I wouldn't have to see Monica all the time.
You would even consider doing that? As long and as hard as you work to get where you are?
I'm trying to figure out what is the best decision for everybody involved.
You giving up your job isn't going to answer anything.
I didn't say I was giving it up. I said I would consider giving it up.
Oh, just so complicated. I don't know how to deal with anything anymore. I should tell you that Laura has now started asking questions.
I assumed she would if she hadn't.
Oh, but she's asking very pointed questions like, is Monica the woman in your life?
What did you tell her?
I told her that I didn't want to discuss it. But the thing is that she's already guessed that much. We're not going to be able to keep everything a big secret from her much longer. Sooner or later, she's going to have to know the whole story.